Welcome to the Better Together Technician webinar. You're probably watching this webinar because your salon leader asked you to after they attended the Julie Shepperly Better Together seminar. You may be wondering, what is better together? Some things are just better together, like peanut butter and jelly, peas and carrots, salt and pepper, black and white, cheese and crackers, and of course, people. We are just better together. That's probably why the acronym for TEAM is Together Everyone Achieves More. During this webinar, we are going to explore how your attitude, aim, and action can help you and your salon become better together. Think of a time where you've achieved something. It could be when you started a family. It could be when you bought your first home. It could be when you bought your first car. It could be when you graduated from school. Or it could be when you got married. Now think about the people in your life that helped you attain those achievements. It could be a teacher, a mentor, a boss, a grandparent, a friend, or a significant other. Maybe it was a higher power, but whoever you are thinking about, they helped you become better. We know that salon leaders and technicians are in a partnership, and when you get better, the salon gets better and everyone is happy. Your salon leaders want to help you achieve your goals, and they have goals they want to achieve as well. And the truth is, they can't do it without you. You and your salon leader are just better together. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to ask you some questions and lead you through activities that will help you have a meaningful conversation with your salon leader. This is sort of a checkup from the neck up. This webinar is intended to introduce you to the ideas behind Better Together and help you do some work to prepare you to meet with your salon leader so that together you can develop a plan to literally become better together. And the first thing that we will need to check is attitude. Because a bad attitude is like a flat tire. We can't go anywhere until we change it. That's right, the salon is a car, and even one bad attitude or flat tire can keep the entire salon from getting where it needs to go. Anise Kavanagh, in her book Contagious Culture, talks about showing up. Showing up is a term that includes your intention, your energy, and your presence, which emanates from you everywhere you go. How you show up will impact everything. Your work, your family, everything. Your presence creates an impact on every level, and that's a good thing. So right now, take an honest look at yourself. Think about how you show up. Early or late? Professional or good enough? Consistent or inconsistent? Team player or out for number one? Mindful or moody? Optimistic or pessimistic? Eager or entitled? Think about it. How do you show up? What do you want to improve? Do you have an attitude that will allow you to become better together? Or do you have a flat tire? Think about how you show up and be prepared to speak with your salon leader about it. You will want to write down 3 areas of strength and 3 areas of improvement so that you can discuss these with your salon leader. Next on the checkup list is aim. Because the odds of hitting your target go up dramatically when you aim at it. If you aim at nothing, you will hit it every time. So what are you aiming for? What do you want? What are your values? Sure, money is important, but what else is important to you? Is it your family? Is it your career? Is it helping people or having a creative outlet? Why is this the way you decided to make a living? What are you aiming for? Once you figure that out, you have to set goals for yourself in order to achieve. In order to become better together, your salon leader wants to know what your aim is and how your aim aligns with the aim of the salon. The next bit of homework is to think about your aim and share that with your salon leader. Find out what is the goal of the salon and let your salon leader know what you want to earn. Work together to set a goal. The last thing on your checkup list is action, because action is the foundational key to all success. Each one of you have your own set of strengths that make you different from everyone else. In order to become better together, you and your salon leader must engage your strengths. Find your strong suit and use it for your development and the salon's development, because without action, a dream is only that. Included in the same Dropbox folder with this video is a worksheet titled, "What is your style?" This worksheet will help you define your strengths. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to pause the video to do this worksheet. On the worksheet, you will see columns with words in each column. Please highlight or check off any trait that generally applies to you. Once you're finished, tally up the number of checks or highlights in each column and write the number on the top of the column. Once you've finished the worksheet, press play for more instructions. At this time, please pause the video and complete the worksheet. I'll see you in a few moments. Welcome back! Now that you've completed the worksheet and tallied each column, please identify the column with the most checks or highlights. If the first column was the column with the most highlighted, then you are a pioneer. If you had the most in column 2, you are an integrator. Column 3, a driver. And column 4, a guardian. If you had a tie, pick the one that you think describes you best. Now that we know which category you are, let's learn more about the strengths of each of these types. Pioneer. A pioneer's motto is have fun. It's just work. More than anything, a pioneer can be recognized by their spontaneity and penchant for brainstorming. As the most extroverted of the 4 types, pioneers are also energetic and expressive and have a broad network and collaborative styles. They adapt easily to change and like to jump in and lead the charge towards new horizons. When it comes to decision making, pioneers don't belabor it. They tend to make quick decisions going with their gut, have a high tolerance for ambiguity and risk, and aren't afraid to change their minds. Integrator. An integrator's motto is consensus rules. The integrator's strongest traits are their tendency to avoid confrontation and seek consensus, their empathy, and their tolerance of ambiguity. Integrators are connectors. They connect with people, emphasizing relationships and striving to be helpful. And they connect ideas. Their way of thinking is nonlinear, big picture, and contextual. They're also traditional, trusting, and dutiful. Integrators tend to think through decisions carefully and to seek a lot of input from others, trying to get a sense of whether people are in agreement. They're not particularly keen on risk-taking, but if they see the group heading in that direction, they may be inclined to get on board. The people implication of a decision are likely to be important to an integrator, and they will consider these carefully. Driver. A driver's motto, and your point is? The most defining characteristic of the driver is their technical and quantitative orientation. This may take the form of an expertise in math, engineering, mathematics, technology, or even music. If you have very little to go on, these are pretty good clues that someone is a driver. The driver type is also strongly characterized by a direct style, a logical approach, and a competitive streak. They're willing to make tough decisions. Drivers are likely to take charge and enjoy experimentation and often prioritize goals over relationships. When it comes to decision making, drivers value a strong analysis backed up by logic and facts. They're good at synthesizing and will look for patterns in complex data. They'll willingly take a risk, but only after consideration. Once they've made their decision, they're not likely to change their minds. Guardian. A guardian's motto is changing the world one spreadsheet at a time. Methodical. That's the number one characteristic of the guardian. They're also structured, meticulous, focused on the details, and practical. If you're paying attention to these things, a guardian is easy to spot. But because they're also reserved, they don't always make themselves known. You may need to be on the lookout for them. Guardians are also likely to be conventional, hierarchical, disciplined, and frugal. They're likely to speak slowly or, as the most introverted of the four types, not at all, especially if others are dominating the conversation or fighting for the floor. When it comes to decision making, a guardian usually isn't in a hurry. They're most comfortable with what's familiar, and they tend to be risk averse. So when making a decision that involves a new direction, they're going to want to check every detail. They may seek out benchmarks and best practices to ground the decision and make them more comfortable with change. They're likely to use a deliberate and methodical process for reaching a decision, and once they've made up their mind, they're unlikely to change it. You'll see many types in the salon, and it's easy to see how we all have different strengths. Our differences can pull us apart, or they can help us be better together. It's up to us. Your last piece of homework is to tell your salon leader what your strengths are, which type you are, and brainstorm how you can use your unique talents and strengths to create an action plan to reach your goals and the goals of the salon. Well, that was a packed webinar, and I hope you've learned some things about yourself and where you want to be. But it can't stop here. Your first action must be to do your homework. So here's the homework again. How do you show up? Share this with your salon leader. Identify 3 of your strengths and 3 areas for improvement. Share this with your salon leader. Share your aim with your salon leader. Find out what the goal of the salon is. Let your salon leader know what you want to earn and work together to set a goal for yourself. Share your type with your salon leader. Let them share with you about other types in the salon and how you can work better with them. Work with your salon leader to create an action plan to reach your goals. Getting better is hard, but being better together makes things much more manageable. During this webinar, we had you look at your attitude, identify your aim, and find out what your type is so that you can create an action plan based on your strengths and build a better together culture in the salon. I hope the webinar today has piqued your interest in becoming better together and that you and your salon leader will work together and take the actions needed to make you and your salon the very best they can be. Thank you for spending your time with me today.